So the first thing to say is that you never get out of it on your own. You just don't. Because tweaks to your practice are not the deal here. There's a much deeper set of underlying issues. Exodus 18, Jethro goes to Moses, and they have this beautiful meal with the elders of Israel together in the presence of God. And then the following day, Jethro gets to see Moses in action, judging to the point of exhaustion from morning till night. And he says to Moses, "What on earth are you doing? This is wearing you out." And interestingly, it says it's wearing the people out as well. So it's no good for them when their leaders are burnt out. And he helps Moses to put in place some ways to mitigate and deal with that. The critical thing there is that it took a Jethro to come from outside. When we get sucked into burnout, we're essentially in what I like to call a vortex of entropy. We get sucked down and down and down, subjectivity, criticism. We start to just listen to voices in our own heads, and it just gets awful, and sometimes it gets awful pretty quick. When you're in that situation, you never get out of it without an intervention of care. You don't go straight from that to a better future without the care first. So you've got to get care in from outside. And what that does is it helps break the factors that have got you there, helps you make sense of them, helps you renegotiate the factors. But by the time you've got there and you're stuck, the chances are that your church life is stuck and your spiritual life is stuck as well. So you need help to recalibrate to true north, to get space with the Lord, to get your spiritual life back in order, which is the center out of which you are leading. And without folk to help us do that, none of us do it. I'll tell you the way that some of us try to do it. Folk think, I'll tell you what I need. What I need is a sabbatical. And even if you have the kind of church that doesn't say, well, that's just you doing more work just of a different kind. If you say, no, this is genuinely about replenishment, loads of people take sabbaticals badly. By badly, what I mean is this. They don't plan with the church how it's going to work for their replenishment, how it's actually going to deliver what they need it to deliver. They don't work with the church beforehand on how they're not going to face 1,000 emails and all the difficult pastoral problems waiting for them when they get back. So they go away exhausted. They think, this is going to give me what I need to press through the next 7 years. They get back to 1,000 emails and all the most difficult pastoral cases, and all the benefit is gone in the next week. And if they went away despairing, thinking, this is what sorts me out, this is what re-energizes me, and find all the benefit is gone in the first week back, that's when people leave ministries. In the UK, the average ministry tenure is about 7 years. That's 2 sabbaticals length. In the US, it is slightly less than that. I gather about 6.5 years. But what that tells you is that people after 6.5 to 7 years in a church ministry are exhausted. And after 2 ministries, they're probably exhausted in a compounded kind of way. Their spouses even more so, because after 15 years, they have been the least fed people in the church for carrying the greatest burdens. And that is just a recipe for absolute disaster. But the sabbatical is the way that people think, I will get out of this on my own. And very commonly it fails. And I think there's an epidemic of folk who leave after 15 years for that reason. So intervention of care, getting sense, getting recalibration, getting in that good place with God, which is the center out of which we lead. The joy of the Lord is your strength. And then you can start to embrace the future. But you never start to embrace the future on your own. It just doesn't happen.